Hello everyone, welcome to this lab. We're working on several labs for the Microsoft Azure Security Engineer exam. With the upgraded version, if you go to GitHub, it will come up as a AZ500X. And in this video, we're going to complete the Resource Manager locks, which is a lab 3. So let's get to it. So every lab, there are some objectives. In this one, it's a simple task. We're just going to look at the Resource Manager lock. And we're going to create a resource group with the storage account, and we're going to start with adding a read-only lock. We're going to test the read-only lock and its properties, what you can do when you have a read-only lock. Then we're going to remove the read-only lock, and we're going to instead create a delete lock on that particular resource, and finally do some testing. So as always, let's head to our Azure account. So let's see, I'm logged out over here, leave page. So let's see if we can log back in. Looks like I'm in right now. So let's come over here. So we're gonna use PowerShell to do some of our tasks. So this is how you create a resource group, and EastUS is my favorite region. So we're gonna, and they're also using some, I love that. So New-AzResourceGroupName, and so this is the resource group that you're gonna create and you're gonna deploy to the EastUS region. So you just go there, and from anywhere you have this little tiny icon over there, you click on it. If you do not have a storage account, it's going to ask you to create one. If you do have, it should just give you a storage shell, a PowerShell environment available to you where you can type out stuff. It just takes like 5 or 10 seconds to show up. You have two different environments. If you are by any chance logged into the bash, just click the drop down menu and go back to the PowerShell, because that's the command we're going to use. Again, is this commandlet is New-AzResourceGroup, name of the resource group, location. So let's hit. It shouldn't take more than like a second. Yeah, it says succeeded. Again, keep a note of how you Azure assigns the resource IDs. That's going to be important for any exam or certification that you're studying. So IDs, they start with the subscription, then the subscription ID, then what type of the resource, and then instance name of the resource. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, let's go. In that one, what we're gonna do, run the following to create a storage account. So here we're gonna create a storage account with that particular command, and it says just wait until that account is created, and it may take a couple of minutes. So let's review the command again. So new storage account is the PowerShell command. Then resource group name is what we're gonna create, and then name get random. So it's gonna get a random number for the name of the storage account, and then it's gonna deploy in the same region. It's gonna use the standard LRS as the SKU for the storage account. And also it's going to use the storage v2, and if you know a little bit of the storage, you know the storage v2 is the most recent type of storage from Azure, and 99.99% of the time that is what is recommended. And LRS is the locally redundant storage. That means within the data center you will have 3 different copies of your data. Okay, so let's create that. It says disallowed but policy. Okay, so I have a policy in here that I created the other day. So the policy is creating some problems. So let's go ahead and disable the policy. So that we created as part of another lab assignments. So this is the policy that I have, and let's get rid of this policy. Let's delete edit assignment. So let's do edit assignment, see if I can just disable that policy real quick. All right, let's disable and review and save. So if you have any policy, like what happened, we are trying to create this this particular resource, but I'm missing a tag, and I had a policy where I said, nobody, if you're creating some resource, you gotta have a resource name, which is a very good from a governance standpoint. Now we have run the command, and this command is now going on just fine. And you can click over here on the notification bar time to time, and it should also show up when things are going on, what's going on in here. Now over here it says your provision state is succeeded. So I think we got our resource group and our storage account, and this is the random number that that it's assigned to our storage account. Alright, so what next? We got that. Now we can add a read-only lock. Okay, for that it looks like we're gonna do that from the portal. It's very easy. So let's go back to your home. Okay, let's get out of this window and let's go to the resource group and find out the resource group that we have created, and that's at the very top. From here, now you can assign the resource and it does lock to the resource group level, or you can be more granular. You can add it at a resource level as well. Now interestingly, that resource is not showing up yet. Now it did. So I can assign the lock here, and to do that I'll just go here and click on lock. So that will assign lock to the whole resource group, or I can do the same thing to a particular resource. So that will assign the lock to the storage account only and not anything else in that resource group. So let's see what the lab is asking us to do. So it's saying in that resource group blade, in the settings, do the lock. So it's asking us to assign to the resource group level. So let's go back to the resource group level. So this is our resource group level. Go to the locks. Okay, and here it's very simple. Add a lock name. You just provide whatever you want. So here it makes sense to provide a read-only lock, and a lock type is read-only. Okay, that's all you need to do to make this resource group to have this resource lock, which is a read-only lock. And here it says the read-only lock. Now we want to now do some testing. So how do you do? In the settings section of the storage, click on configuration, set the secure transfer record option to disable and click save. So let's now, so basically what you're trying to do, you're trying to do some changes. Okay, so let's go to our resource group. From here let's go to our storage account. Inside this, where is our storage account? Let's go back to overview, go to our storage account, and in this one go to our configuration. Within configuration they're asking, hey, let's just change the secure transfer required to the disabled state. And if you save it, here is the problem. Because we have a lock now, any resources inside this resource group is now in a read-only state, so you cannot do anything to it. Now can you deploy anything? I'm not sure if they're testing on that, so let's see what we have done. So we have now verified that you cannot change the state of the storage account. You can read it, but you cannot change. Okay, on the delete storage account, so let's try to see if we can delete that account. Okay, so this is the storage account. So if you can select that, and no, we don't want to delete. So it's a resource group, we just want to delete that particular storage account. So if you click on that and say it's saying deleting one resource, let's say yes, and then say delete. Can you delete it? Oh my god, you can. Why? Because you have a lock. So remove the lock. It's saying if you want to remove it, please remove the lock and try again. So that's a great feature. If you want to protect your environment or any particular resource group, use it. Alright, so let's see what other testing that we want to do. So they're saying remove the resource group lock and create a delete lock. So other thing that I want to quickly show you is, since I have a lock, can I create a new resource? So let's try that, although it's not part of the lock. So let's just create a key vault. Okay, let's gonna try to create a key vault within that resource group and see if you are able to create a new resource when you have a read-only lock available. And see that it's gonna say that, buddy, this resource group is read-only, so you cannot choose that one. So that proves that when you have the read-only lock, you cannot even deploy any new resource under that resource group. So make that note. It's very important that you understand. Alright, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna delete that lock so we can do more stuff to it. Okay, so let's go back to the resource group, go back to the same lock blade, and again the blade means all of these links in Microsoft terms, they're all blade. And deleting is also very easy. Just click on the lock and not from here, right here, edit. Where is my lock? Where's my delete? Here is the delete button. So I'm using this bar, so if this delete icon is not there, so just try to find it and then create delete, and it should delete your item. Alright, so now we have deleted this lock. So let's go back to the lab. So next we gotta taste the delete lock. Okay, now we have deleted the locks. Set the secure transfer record option to disable and see if we can do that. So let's go back to the overview blade again. So if you want to go back to the storage account, you just go back, click on the storage account, go to the configuration of the storage account, and under the configuration you have this secure transfer required, and you just say save. And this time you are also not being able to. This looks a little weird. So let's go back and make sure we have deleted our storage lock properly from that from our resource group. So let's go back to the locks one more time. Yeah, I don't see anything in here, so let's go back over there one more time. Sometimes it takes just a minute, so if you can't do something, just don't get frustrated. It just takes a minute to get that lock take effect. Make sure there is no lock in here. We haven't added any. There is no lock. That's good. Go back to configuration one more time. Now try this one more time and see what happens. Alright, so here it says we got a policy violation now. Policy set definition, my requirement. Okay. So we have another policy that we have assigned, which is now blocking this thing to happen. Okay, so that has nothing to do with this feature not being there or not. So let's go back. Let's try some other operation. This is also blocked. Access tier. This is also blocked, so that's not good. So let's read one more time. Update to resources, disable policy definition, policy assignment, my requirement ID. So there's a my requirement. Let's go to the policy one more time and make sure I don't have any crazy policies out there that is not letting me do any stuff. Okay, so let's go to our security center real quick. Security policies. Okay, I want to look at that. Here I was working with some other policies, so let's go back in here, and it looks like the my requirement is the policy that's blocking us from doing stuff. So that's the policy that I want to take a quick look at, fix anything that I need to fix. So these are the things that you should learn how to troubleshoot and fix, although it's making my video a little longer, but hopefully you are learning something good. So let's get to the page. It's taking a little bit of time to load. Just stay with me. Alright, I'm back to the policy that I enabled for some another lab, so I'm going to disable this one as well. So let's see what I have in here. Assign, then require resource on tag. I'm going to disable this policy as well. So I was doing another lab where I needed to do a couple of policies, so I have I'm disabling both of them at the moment. So okay, so this is, they're asking for some stuff in here. What is the scope? We're gonna assign disable the policy in our for the whole subscription. So let's open it up. Net is a little slow, or Azure is a little slow today. Alright, so for this one, the way you disable the policy, again from here, we have chosen the subscription. For the whole subscription, I'm going to disable the policy. So I'm going to create, disable and create, and it should show policy enforcement is disabled. So this is something else that that you are learning today. Parameters, they're saying this is also required. So let's go tag name. I'm just going to say test and just say this. And right now the policy assignment is now successful. Okay, so let's see if we can do our stuff now. Alright, we are back to our storage account now. So the thing that we are going to test is whether we can disable, since now we do not have any lock, and we have taken care of the policy problem. That's an added bonus that you guys have learned in this video today. Now it's in disable state, so we are changing the property. Now we save it. There we go. Now you can do it. Can you do something else? Let's see. There we go. So you can do anything you like. And now, since I don't have anything, I can also deploy other resources in here. It's just like open resource group for me. So we have done that. So the next thing is the delete lock. Okay, next we're gonna test the delete lock. So we have tested with the read-only lock. Then we have removed the read-only lock. We have done some stuff. Now we're gonna add a delete lock to our resource group. So let's come back over here again. Let's go to the locks, and this time we're gonna add a delete lock, and we're gonna test a couple of things. Okay. Again, this Azure is a little slow today. Hopefully it show up in a second. All right, I have the window that I need. So let's create, and this time we're gonna name this lock as the delete lock. Okay, so once I have this, let's just put it over here and say delete lock this time. Hit OK. So again, we are adding this lock to the resource group level, but this is a delete lock. That means you cannot delete stuff, but you can change and do operations on different items. So you can go back to the resource group, get in here. So if I try to delete this storage account, you still cannot delete it. Okay, let's click on it, and even if you say yes, you should not be able to delete it. Yeah, okay, you can, because you have the delete lock. But can you change the property back again? Okay, if you had a read-only lock, you could not have. This time let's enable those two parameters to enable state and save, and it's updating storage account. Let's see if it's successful or not. Come on, Microsoft. Yeah, there we go, successfully updated. So right now I still have a delete lock, but I'm able to change, I'm able to perform operations on it. One last thing which is also not in the lab, if you have a delete lock, we have already proven that you cannot even create a new resource, right? So now if I try to create a new resource in here, and let's say we're gonna try a new key vault, okay? And what do you think? Can we create? Let's test. Last time when we did it, it did not let this resource group, and it showed up and it said no, it's got a read-only lock, you cannot do that. This time I'm not having any such warnings. That means if I want, I can create the key vault. Again, this is a very important differentiation between the delete lock and the read-only lock. So if somebody asks you which lock is more restrictive, your answer should be it is the delete lock. It is the read-only lock. I'm sorry. So the read-only lock is more restrictive because other than reading stuff, you cannot do anything. Okay, but for the delete lock, you cannot delete stuff, but you can still add, you can change properties of a particular storage, stuff like that. You can still perform operations, you just cannot delete anything from a resource group. Another thing to understand, you can apply the resource lock, this read-only lock or the delete lock at a resource group level, or you can apply it to the individual resources as well, depending upon your requirement. Alright, with that, this is the end of this lab. If you like, please give me a thumbs up, sign up, leave a comment, and good luck with the exam if you're studying for the exam. Thank you for watching.